Will time make my ex miss me or forget about me? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video, but first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up and by subscribing to this channel right down there, conveniently located next to the thumbs up button. Also, I wanted to let you know that we do have a little newsletter that you can sign up for. It's totally free to sign up for. You get a nice report when you sign up for it that goes through a lot of the common beliefs that people have about saving a relationship, getting an ex back, such as like, I need to always do the no contact rule, for example, or I need to, follow these bits of fortune cookie advice, for example. And I, tear them apart and basically explain what has worked for me and my clients over the years. Anyway, it's totally free to sign up for. You can get it down below in the description box for this video. All right, so will time make your ex miss you or forget about you? That's what we are talking about here. So again, there is a very commonly held belief out there that, you need to always do no contact. You need to do no contact no matter what's going on, all the time, 100%. And, there's plenty of no contact coaches out there that will obviously tell you to do no contact. I mean, that's like the one tool that they have, their no contact coach. But just like any tool, it has its time and place. I have a toolbox that has a hammer in it, it has a screwdriver in it, it has other things in it. And yeah, there's a time when a hammer is a great tool to have. There's other times when maybe I need a screwdriver. There's other times when maybe I need a wrench or something else. And you want to be able to know when the right time to use an appropriate tool is. Now, the common philosophy, story arc, narrative that a lot of these no contact coaches have is that, you got to cut contact with your ex, you need to wait and make them miss you, and then they're going to come crawling back to you over broken shards of glass, begging for another chance. Can this happen? Sure, it can happen. When the conditions are right, this can make sense, and this is something that can happen. Kind of like how when the conditions are right, having a hammer can be really helpful and useful and can help you to build whatever you're building. But sometimes it's not going to happen, right? So you have to be able to feel into the situation and know, like, okay, is where things are with my ex right now, does it make sense for us to be out of contact? Does it make sense for us to, do, radio silence or no contact or whatever? And it can make sense to do this. It can, if being in contact with one another is doing more harm than good. Can make sense to stop doing what's not working and to take a step back and think about how you're bringing yourself and make any necessary changes and all of that. That can totally make sense. But if you're doing it because you want them to crawl over these broken shards of glass or something, well, number one, like, do you really want to be back together with them if you're getting some sort of sadistic glee out of thinking of them crawling over broken shards of glass? I mean, you could have just swept them up so they didn't have to crawl over them. Or do you want to actually have a relationship with someone else? Because, if you want to inflict physical harm on someone or metaphorical harm on someone, maybe they're not the right person for you. Just a thought. Anyway, so yeah, this can work. It can work. When you're out of contact with someone, it can sometimes cause them to say, okay, we did have some good times together. We did have some positive experiences together. We did share some good memories together. And maybe being out of contact can cause them to miss you and to maybe value some of those things a little bit more and to change their mind and say, hey, maybe I made a rash decision in breaking up. Maybe we actually should be back together again. It can happen. I've seen it happen before. But again, this is not the best strategy a lot of the time, because if you're interacting with your ex and it's a really painful experience, it's something that's really causing the two of you to have poor quality connections and fight and argue and all of that, being out of contact with them can actually be a relief for them, and it could make them say, wow, this is so much better now that we're out of contact. This is so much better now that I don't have to deal with the fights and the expectation and the pressure to get back together and all of this other stuff, right? And sure, sometimes that nice relief period can only be temporary, and after they kind of get through that relief period, they might start to miss you. So like, don't think that I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, because yeah, they might miss you after a while, and it definitely makes sense to cut contact if the two of you aren't having positive interactions. But if you're not having positive interactions, you're going to want to do something besides just letting time make them miss you and make them come crawling back to you over broken shards of glass or over a freshly swept clean floor. You're going to want to actually have connections that bring the two of you closer together with more understanding, better communication, a stronger bond, stuff like that. And that is stuff that is not necessarily coming into place by just cutting contact and waiting indefinitely. So that's often why we steer our clients towards what we call advanced relational skills. We have a whole video series on them. You can find it up there in the corner if you are new here, don't know what we're talking about, or maybe you do know what we're talking about and you want to refresh or something like that. It's up there. But you can go ahead and check those out, because yeah, there's a time and place for cutting contact. Yes, it can be a useful tool for making it easier to connect with them and to talk to them, but it's just like preparing a field, right? Yeah, you can prepare it, but you're not necessarily going to grow a lot of cool stuff off of it if you're like trying to start a farm or something. You need to prepare the field, and then of course you need to like do things, plant the seeds and take care of them and all of that, right? It's not just about clearing the field. So time, no contact, radio silence, whatever you may call it, it has its time, it has its place. It should not be your entire strategy. It should not be like the one thing that you have going for you. I would recommend that you build up these advanced relational skills that we're talking about, or maybe if you're following some other coach's advice, hopefully they have some other trick up their sleeve besides just like no contact or writing a emotional letter or something like that. Hopefully there's something beyond that will allow the two of you to create a stronger emotional connection. And, hopefully it's not some BS stuff like mind games or reverse psychology or playing hard to get. Because, that's not what a strong relationship is built on. It really isn't. If you're going to be in a relationship with someone and it's going to be a long-term relationship, you're going to want to have that be built on a foundation of trust and openness and honesty. Trust me, your relationships are just going to work easier that way. And if you can just set it up from the beginning with trust, openness, and honesty, you're going to have like an easy, effortless path through. If you think to yourself, and trust me, I've been there, I know how you might be thinking this, at least this is what I thought back when I was going through my breakup and trying to get back together with my ex. It was like, okay, this is a really tough situation. I need the industrial strength stuff. I need the reverse psychology mind games. And then when we're back together, then I'll do it right. Then I'll start, having honesty, openness, communication, all that stuff. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. If you were going to do it that way, there has to be some sort of like switch from the mind game to doing it the right way. And when you make that switch, it's going to be a really strong disruption in the dynamic between the two of you, and your ex is going to be like, whoa, what happened? Like, why are you suddenly like really available? Why are you like suddenly wanting to talk about your feelings as opposed to being, this aloof person who's basically acting like an emotionally unavailable, avoidant attachment style person? Why are you doing that when you did that before, and now you're suddenly like Mr. or Miss Relationship? And so what you want to do is you want to do it right from the beginning. That way you have this smooth arc of being in a relationship, and you can kind of just show them, hey, this is me, this is who I am. Let's do this together, and that we can set this up for the long run. Okay, so like, please don't think the way that I thought in my younger years. That was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna use the reverse psychology, the mind games, just to get back to even, and then I'll do it right. It does not work that way. It does not really lead to a smooth relationship. I can tell you that from personal experience. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you maybe have a little bit more of an understanding about whether or not time makes sense for helping your ex to either miss you, or whether they're going to forget about you, or whether they're going to move on, or whether it's just going to make things worse. If you do want to learn more about these advanced relational skills that we're talking about, you can check out this video series over here, or you can check out this video up here. But thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. It does help us out. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.